Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme and tired, Peter Joseph here, for a late, and then close to late Friday night, July the 25th, 2025, or if you're watching on the replay, because I know you are, for all my great people on the replay crew, it is now Saturday, July the 26th, 2025, as we start the, well, we're in the middle of the final official weekend of July. Got about 5 official days left, as of this video, 5 official days left of July, and then we're gonna start the dog days of August, this coming Friday, August the 1st, which is SummerSlam weekend. So, starting off the second half, and as we hit August, we got 5 or 5 full months to go of the year, and then we'll be done with this year, and then we go into 2026. We might pretty much start the second half of the decade. We started this year, and we're going to go into 2026. Hopefully on a good note, but we'll see what happens with that. But thank you for watching right here, once again, on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. Alright, Killer of Demons 669. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video. Hit that subscribe button down there in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. Leave a comment on the video if you like, but if you leave stupid comments, you need to get put in your place and pretty much slapped in the face. Because you're pretty much SOL, and you know what that means. So subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on the video, and if you leave stupid comments, you'll get blocked, sent to the Shadow Realm. Ozzy and Satan will eat your soul! So don't do that. Do it on your dead channel that nobody gives 2 fucks about. And we move on. And don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and share the video all over the internet. And once more, hit that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss anything. Because if you do, like I said, you're pretty much shit out of luck. SOL, baby. And that's that. And if you're brand new here for the very first time, and you're just floating around YouTube at this late time, or unless you're on the West Coast, it's late, but you're on the East Coast, late. On the far coast, it's pretty much Saturday or possibly Sunday if you're in Japan. Big up to Japan. Japan #1 forever, we all know that. But wherever you're watching from and wherever you're coming from, if you're here for the first time, welcome to the party, pal! We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab a cold one. Well, that's all I got right now. But probably finish it off before you hit the bed. I got more. I got Coke Zeros in the fridge. I'll probably finish that off probably Sunday, and I can get more. So we'll see what happens with that. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a cold one, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. Go fuck yourself. And that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this late Friday night, July the 25th, 2025, or like I said, if you're on the replay, you're watching tomorrow, it is July the 26th, 2025. Once again, here on the Killer of Demons 669 channel, the main channel, I'm Peter Joseph. You knew that already. Your gracious, sexy host with great teeth. That I gotta be careful for. But I feel like I thought I had an overbite when I got these new permanent teeth, but now I'm actually getting used to the teeth. It's been pretty much a day in, a little over a day now. So I got them Thursday afternoon, so it's Friday afternoon. It's gonna be Saturday, so it's almost 2 days in with these brand new teeth. I gotta clean up, not clean them, brush them, keep them clean. And then now I start the bottom teeth, the bottom left side, which is gonna be a pain in the ass. But yeah, so hopefully as we hit August, hopefully my teeth will be all fixed up as we hit Labor Day weekend. And we'll see what happens with that as we go into the fall. I might have to go back for a while. The only time I'll probably have to go back is just get a cleaning and get a checkup, and then see what else happens. But hopefully I don't need more Roto-Rooter after I get the bottom teeth done. But at least I don't have to go back on my liquid diet now that I got my permanent teeth. Now I can eat whatever the fuck I want, but I gotta be careful about certain things I gotta worry about. Can't have like hard candy, pretzels, or hard pretzels. I can't really have much of that. And I just gotta chew lightly and break a, if I'm eating something like that's like crusty or hard, like pretzel rods and stuff like that, I might have to break them up a little bit so I don't break my teeth, which will be bad. Because I have to go through that whole process again. And it's not fun. And that's it. Alright, no, but then, woo, funky. Hope everybody's gonna have had a great Friday. I hope you have a great Saturday. Wherever you may be. And a great Sunday, too. As we end this great month of July. And we begin the dog days of August, like I said. And, Mets won today. But earlier tonight. 8-1 walloping of the San Francisco Giants. Still in first place, but by a smidge. Because the fucking Skankies can't do anything right. 2-0 lead. Blew that in the 5th inning. Which they cursed in the 5th inning. And then kind of made it a game. It was, I think, 6-5. And then garbage after that. Giving up home runs. Because the Yankees pitching staff is garbage. And they lost 12-5. So the Phillies won. Mets win. Mets are still a half game up in the NL East. And that's that. So we'll see what happens tomorrow and Sunday. Hopefully the Yankees at least take 2 or 3 from the Phillies. And the Mets at least win the series. Would it be tomorrow? Would it be Sunday night? Because tomorrow night's a 9 o'clock game. And Sunday's a 7 o'clock game on ESPN or ESPN. So, and then they go to San Diego. And we'll see what happens with that. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday back home for SummerSlam weekend against those Giants again. Which, pretty much the next, 7 games are going to be a little bit tough. Then it gets really tough when the Phillies come in for 3. And then in September, a big 4-game series in Philadelphia, that shithole. That's pretty much maybe going to determine the NL East and possibly a wildcard spot. But, we got time. It's only July 26th. Mets made a trade with Baltimore to get a pitcher. A big, huge left-handed pitcher for the bullpen. Garrett Soto. Hopefully he does good. But we'll see. Yankees got a third baseman from Colorado. Nobody cares. But trading deadline is Thursday. So we'll see if the Mets and Skankies make some more trades. Big trades maybe. Who knows? Mets are thinking about shipping out Marte. I wouldn't care. Get him out. I haven't seen him play much anyway, so it's always hurt. Get him out. Trade him for at least somebody good. Don't trade him for just a guy that's only going to be here for the playoff run and then bye. Just, I'm here for a cup of coffee. That's that. But we move on. And that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the Kid with the Image channel, thank you for watching. And check out my Raw review. I'll go back a video for my Raw review earlier in the day. Link will be down below in the gobbledygook. We got that. Tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow afternoon, we'll talk about Dynamite. And then I do have to do some errands and I have to run out tomorrow night to do some shit with the missus and some friends. So, late tomorrow night, we'll talk about TNA and Ring of Honor. And then Sunday, sometime Sunday, even though it's going to rain like cats and dogs, but I got nothing to do Sunday. I might go out, depending on the weather. If it's raining like cats and dogs, I'm probably just going to stay in and watch TV, watch Netflix, maybe watch... I am going to the movies to watch Happy Gilmore 2. So, see Becky, the man, Becky Lynch, and Fart Knocker, Maxwell Jacob Fart Knocker. And that's that. I heard Nikki Bella was in it. She had some scenes, but it got cut. Ha! She can't act, she can't wrestle that much. She sucks, and, that's it. When we move on with that, but can't wait to see that movie. First one was great, second one seems to be good, from what I heard, so we got that. We move on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your late night Smackdown Brother Review! Alright, from earlier last night, July the 25th, 2025, and we are emanating from the Rocket Arena. Rocket! Yeah! Okay, sorry, Def Leppard. Great band, by the way. The Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio is for losers. That city sucks! Why? Doesn't suck that much. The only reason I hate Cleveland, because of the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame. I would love to go to Cleveland, go to that fucking place, and piss on it. I'm gonna be started with that the fucking building. For people that should not be in there. It's a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we have rappers, we have R&B people. What do they have to do with rock and roll? Why can't we just have the Hip Hop and R&B Hall of Fame? I mean, we have people like Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan, I'm cool with. I love Shaka Khan. I feel for you. No, that's not LL Cool J. Not rap, not rock, but, he does have some rock in the early days of his career. He has some rock-type riffs in his raps. LL Cool J is hot as hell. Sucker MCs, man, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Beastie Boys, well, that's obvious. Beastie Boys, because I had Kerry King on a couple of tracks. So, I would put them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just for that reason, but still, rap. Kid Rock should be in the Hall of Fame, because, Kid Rock, rap rock stuff. So, when I think it's coming up pretty soon on the first album that Kid Rock did. I think it's about almost, he's almost there, I think. Or he's about to be, maybe nominated next year, I don't know, but I have to check with Devil Without a Cause came out. I think it was 99, 2000, somewhere it's just about 25 years plus now. Which is the, to at least get nominated, you have to have an album. Their first album has to be 25 years ago. So, I think Kid Rock will probably be on the ballot pretty soon. Maybe Bizkit. Probably be on there soon. Nickelback. All the late 90s bands will be there. The late 90s, like 97 on. Pretty much 95 on. Not actually 96 on would be getting there pretty soon. In this moment would be there in about 5 years, 5-6 years, it might be actually on the ballot because Beautiful Tragedy came out in early 2006, 2007 really, but so yeah, 2031, 32 we might see in this moment on the ballot. I don't think they're gonna get in yet, but it would be nice. So we could say Grammy nominated, and then Hall of Shame nominated, well, Hall of Fame nominated, but I would say if In This Moment does get in, probably won't be till I'm like 70. I'm on 48 now, so I'll probably be another 20 years to get in. Like Kiss, and many other bands that haven't got in yet. Iron Maiden. Priest. Soundgarden, anyone? Man, so many of the grunge bands haven't. Stone Temple Pilots. I'm like, huh? I mean, this year we put in Rage Against the Machine, which I was okay with, but Soundgarden's not in, I don't think. I think Pearl Jam is in. I gotta check that, but Nirvana we know is in, been in. Yeah, pretty much the big grunge bands. Alice in Chains, not in. Soundgarden, I don't believe is in. And I gotta check on Pearl Jam, but my distaste for the Hall of Shame, it just, I can't. And every year that the nominees come out, I look at the list, I'm like, where's this band? Where's this artist? Where's this band, you know? Why are they not on the list and why didn't they get in? And most of the time, it's a fan ballot. Most of the time. Hey, Cyndi Lauper at least finally got in. About fucking time. But I think Billy Idol was on the list and then somehow he didn't get in. Huh? Peter Frampton's in, thank the Lord. But there's so many people and so many artists that get nominated, that they're on the actual nomination thing, but, you know, when the actual list comes out of who got nominated and who's going in, it's just like, oh, they were up by like 50%! What happened in the span of like 2 months? Or a week? What happened? I mean, it's okay that the fans vote, that's fine, but I think some of it might be rigged. Some of it, not all of it, but, man. But I assume that they're going to do something at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony this coming up later this year for Ozzy. Maybe like in memoriam, or maybe they'll do another all-star, like all these people will sing Ozzy songs and shit. I don't know. The thing's not till November, so we'll have to see what happens when they actually broadcast that. So, meanwhile. But anyway, Cleveland, Ohio hosts the pre-ultimate to ultimate go-home show for Smackdown. And this was part tribute to Hulk Hogan, brother, and a chaotic episode of Smackdown with that epic fucking ending with all the tag teams on SmackDown. Not all of them, but most of the big time tag teams going after the Wyatt Six, which they were defending against Andrade and Rey Fenix. And how that ended, and the aftermath, and then what could be, I think it will be the match of SummerSlam, whether it be night 1 or night 2. And the card for night 1 and night 2 came out, which I don't have my phone. But we'll talk about that later. Alright, let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Commentary team, as always, Joe Tessitore and my good buddy, who plays a good electric twanger. That's guitar for you dumb people at home. And his name is Bad News Weed Barrett. Enjoy from a flight of got some bad news for you. We got that. Alright, so we start the show off with the signature, and we go inside the arena, and we see the entire roster and a couple of legends like Jim Duggan, Sergeant Slaughter, Ted DiBiase. I think Jared Briscoe was on there. Somebody was next to Ted DiBiase. I couldn't even remember who it looked like. But anyway, Triple H MC the whole thing. We see most of the roster, like I said. Big 10-bell salute to Hogan, which I thought was very nice. And then we go right into a long, not that long, but a great video. There was a few great video packages for Hogan, but the first one, talking about his early career, set to I Am a Real American, Rick Derringer, which wasn't even Hogan's theme back then. He kind of stole it from Mike Rotundo and Barry Windham, the U.S. Express. That was their theme, and then Hogan had, he had Eye of the Tiger before his actual theme on the Wrestling Album 1, which then turned into Real American. Right after WrestleMania, he started using that song. After Windham and Rotundo, basically, they got beat by, I believe, Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik, who then lost the belts. Who did they lose the belts to? Shit. They didn't lose them to the Hart Foundation. I forgot. It was the Hart Foundation or the British Bulldogs, I forget. But in any case, that's when Hogan started using it, like right around WrestleMania 2. So, move on. Alright. Triple H narrates, talk about how big an influence Hogan was on everybody. There was no Hulk Hogan. I would be not talking about wrestling on YouTube. Or in general. So, it turns into a big biography of Hogan's childhood and career. He grew up in Venice Beach, California. Was a bass player, really a guitar player and a bass player. Fun fact, he did audition for Metallica when they were looking for a guitar player when they kicked out Dave. Hello, me! Meet the real me! Okay, Dave, not now. Wait. They might miss this way of life. I'm gonna keep talking to myself. Thank you, Dave. David! No. Alright, so yeah. Hogan actually, and I think it was Lars or James Hetfield that talked about it. I think on an episode of That Metal Show, they was like, oh, Hulk Hogan actually auditioned for us once. Or Hogan talked about it. I think in his biography or some shit. But yeah, Hulk Hogan almost ended up in fucking Metallica. How funny would that have been? Instead of Kurt Hammett, was stayed in Exodus, and they have Hogan on fucking guitar, playing like Seek and Destroy and shit like that. I'm like, what? Huh? That would be funny. Well, you know something, brother? I'm gonna play this riff for you, James. And Lars like, oh, what's up, James? What the hell's he playing? What do you think about that? Ah, yeah. Sounds good. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. It would be funny as fuck if even Dimebag actually auditioned for Metallica at one point. Interesting. Interesting, good stuff that you don't know. Back in the day. You don't know that, huh, Brit Fox? But I digress. Anyway. Alright, so, talks about his childhood career, rising up through the AWA as the incredible Hulk Hogan. Not the immortal Hulk Hogan. Managed by Classy Freddie Blassie, you pencil neck geek. And then eventually his rise into the WWF. We see some of his celebrity appearances, before moving on to big, huge rivalries with Mr. T, or he was teamed up with Mr. T at WrestleMania 1, which I was at. Even before that, where he won the title, I was at that. When it was a little bitty Hulkster dude. Good stuff. There was off the WCW, when, he was a good guy, and then 1996 called. I mean, he, probably one of the biggest heel turns and shocking heel turns in wrestling history when he came out at Bash at the Beach, turned on everybody and joined up with the late great Scott Hall, Chico, Les Alamos, Chico, something happened to this, something happened to you, Chico, and the big man Kevin Nash to form the NWO, one of the greatest factions in wrestling history. Probably the greatest. Well, next to the Four Horsemen, of course. But I think they were way better than the Horsemen, but yes. And then we focus on the NWO, and then his comeback in WWE in 2002 with the NWO, and his legendary WrestleMania 18 match, which is probably one of the greatest matches in wrestling history. There's so many, but I still think Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat, number 1, Hogan and Andre 2, Rock Hogan at least in the top 3, top 5. Amazing. And I still think 17 is my number 1 pay-per-view of all time. Number 1 Mania is and always will be 17. 3 is good. That's probably my number 2, and 18 will be my number 3. Then you gotta think about number 1, which... I mean, it's the first WrestleMania you gotta put on the list, but still. WrestleMania 10 was alright. But yeah. 17, for me, my list, 17, 3, 8, no, take that back. 17, 3, 18. I put 10 up there at number 4. And then probably my number 5, probably number 20. Because I was at that one too. So that's probably my top 5 greatest WrestleManias of all time. All time. But that match at 18 was just amazing. When Hogan was in the NWO, beat the crap out of The Rock. And that was the first of 2 matches with The Rock, and The Rock won Mania. I think he won both of them, I think. Because I know he had the rematch at there was No Way Out, there was No Way Out. It was like after Mania, had the second match, which I think Hogan won that one, so. But basically, Hogan passed the torch to The Rock. We should have passed the torch to The Undertaker, but that's still no story for last time. But yeah, talk about that. Then we jump ahead to 2005 when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame by Sylvester Stallone. Incredible! Oh, Hogan! No! And then everything that he did after that, leading up to basically today, brought back from time to time, kept connecting with the fans. He passed away at 71, basically Thursday morning. We get one final look at his career, and then we cut back to the fans with some Hogan chants, some tears were shed, good stuff. Yeah, that's basically it. So, great video package. I know it was last minute for the WWE, but damn, they made this look good. Very good. I love when they have these impromptu deaths, and then they have to do it on the fly. Shit, how do they do that? I don't know. How do they edit it up that quick? With all the footage they have to get of certain wrestlers, like they did with the Warrior, they did with Hogan, they did with Eddie Guerrero, Owen Hart at one point. I mean, whoever is doing these video packages for the fallen wrestlers, give those people raises. They have to give them a raise. I mean, they are so good. That's what I like about WWE when they talk about, deaths in the family, basically. So, we didn't do anything for Ozzy, even though Corey Graves was like, praying, doing this whole thing. They showed a little video package for Ozzy when it was at WrestleMania 2, and then a whole segment with him and Sharon, with DX and Jericho, Big Show. I think Edge was there. I forget how many people were there. And then Ozzy doing this, with DX, with Michaels in front of him, Triple H behind him, because, Triple H is a big metal guy. Don't want to be using Lemmy so much. Let me kill my super mode and we play rock and roll. Rock out with your coke out. Alright. Ozzy. Okay. Seeing Hellraiser up there in heaven. Hanging out with Roddy James Dio and Jimi Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rose and Dimebag, Vinnie Paul. They have like a humongous super group forming up there. It's just amazing shit. Next thing we know, we'll probably hear something. Ozzy from heaven with Randy Rose on guitar, Lemmy on bass, and Vinnie Paul or Neil Peart or John Bonham on the drums. And who knows on keyboard if they wanted a keyboardist. But Ozzy could form any group up there with anybody, basically. Definitely have Randy or maybe Eddie Van Halen as a guitar player. Bassist, I would think he'd pick Lemmy, obviously. Drummer, he could go with probably John Bonham, because he kept religiously talking about John Bonham. So, probably have that. And, that'd probably be his super group. And then Ronnie James Dio would form his own super group with like 6 million fucking people. Amazing shit, man. That big concert all in the sky just got God, basically. The god of metal. Not Rob Halford, but, not yet, thankfully. But, Rob is like 70-something years old, I think. Alice Cooper is getting close to 80. Ugh. Hopefully we keep the metal god. That's the main guy. I hope we don't lose him anytime soon. Rob Halford, because that that won't hurt so much as Ozzy's, but it would hurt the metal community because Rob Halford and Priest were just so influential after Ozzy and everything. After Sabbath, really. It wasn't for Sabbath, there would be no Judas Priest or in this. Basically, I'm gonna say in this moment too, but yeah, there won't be no in this moment because I got influenced by all the riffs from Ozzy and many other people. But I digress. All right, blah blah blah. But great thing for blah 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 blah. Great video package for Mr. Hogan. That's it. All right, after we break, Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett talk about Hogan and his star power. Okay, we got that. Alright, then we go to the actual show. And we start up with Cleveland's own, no, not The Miz. No, not the Street Profits. But they were there later. But we see Logan Small, who used to live in Cleveland. Now he's a fake Puerto Rican. But I digress. Glad to be back in Cleveland, but the reality is, he made the city. Yeah! Right! Cleveland sucks! Then he's like, I have nothing in common with the city because I made it out and the people here didn't. And he says, for tonight, I'm giving back to this great city by hosting a live edition of my hit podcast, Impulsive, which is not that great. I don't like Jelly Roll. We call him Jelly Donut. Big fat Jelly Donut. Squeeze. Go buy the biggest jelly donut you can find, squeeze out all the jelly, and then stick it straight up your candy ass. Rock. Alright, so he doesn't like Jelly Roll, who, on cue, he comes out, says, I'm tired of you being a jerk, and inspiring other kids to be jerks. And then Logan Paul says, at SummerSlam, you get to tag in, I get to tag in a 6'7", 300-pound Scottish warrior, Drew McIntyre, while Randy Orton gets to tag in, you? And is it me? Maybe it is me. Doesn't Jelly Roll remind you of Mark Calloway a little bit? The Phenom, Taker, back when he was in WCW as Mean Mark? He has that look, but, Taker was like 6'10". In his WCW days, he was big. He's still like around 7 feet tall. But man, Jelly Roll was like big, fat, and he was like 200 pounds. He looks like a thin fucking Mark Calloway. I'm not kidding about that. And he does that chokeslam like Taker, because Taker's training him, of course. I'm like, wow. I was like, Mark? Somebody get Teddy Long out here. Shit. Not even Teddy Long. Well, he did kind of manage Taker, not for long. It was basically Paul Heyman. And yeah, Taker was a Paul Heyman guy. I really wish that they did something with, they didn't really bring it up much. But imagine Paul Heyman managing Taker in like the Ruthless Aggression era. Or even before ECW even formed. Well, actually it did form before that, but in 90, but there was a remnants of the NWA, But imagine when Paul came over to WWE in the Ruthless Aggression era. Imagine him as not even a mouthpiece, a manager of The Undertaker. How epic that would be. What could have been? Like I keep saying, the what-ifs of wrestling. What if Paul Heyman was managing Undertaker pretty much in his prime? That would be freaking epic. Well, never got it. Alright. So, Joey Roll goes to the apron with what sounds like threats of killing Logan Paul, which most people would have liked. He talks about how he doesn't like Logan Paul and calls him and sees him as a punk ass bitch. And then Drew McIntyre, I don't know where he came from. He comes in, and then Jerry Roll starts singing, I hear voices in my head, they come to me, whatever. Sings Randy's theme song, and then on cue, Randy comes out to even the odds. Randy, your quads are so thick. You been hitting the gym? So Randy comes out, and stares at Drew, straight jab to the face, like legit jab. I was like, shit. But they tumble to the outside, leaving Drew to knock Joe Roll down, and basically not punch him. Okay. And then Orton comes back in, brawls with Drew, leaving Joey Roll to basically beat the fuck out of Logan Paul. But then and then Logan's like, I'm gonna load up this right hand, about to knock Joey Roll for a loop. But Joey Roll ducked on the rebound off the ropes. Hits a big abyss black hole slam, and a pretty damn good one. Plants Logan Paul, and then him and Randy celebrate. That's it. But man, Joey Roll, like, he hits a choke slam very well. Almost better than Taker, I would say. And he hits a pretty decent black hole slam. I wonder what other moves he's trying to do. Next thing you know, he'll be doing a 450 splash or some shit. Never know what might happen when he does at freaking at SummerSlam. I think the match is on night 1. I know the Roman J. Uso versus B&B Security, Braun and Bronson Reed. That's gonna be night 1, not the main event, obviously, but it's gonna be co-main event because Walter and CM Punk are gonna be the main event, which I think is stupid. I would have put Roman in the main event. Fuck Punk. Fuck Punk, Walter. That doesn't scream main event to me. I mean, it is, but not the main event. The main event is and always will be Roman. So I don't know how the order of the matches might be, but from what I did read, that the main event is Walter versus CM Punk night 1, Cody versus Cena night 2, and then everything in between, which got we have pretty much a finalized card. But the order we don't know yet. So we don't know what's opening night 1, what's opening night 2. We don't know what's closing night 1 and night 2. But I'm going to have to see what happens with that. But pretty good segment. With all 4 men. Going to be a great match. We know Randy and Joey Roll are going to win that match, obviously. And so I'll be shocked if Drew and Logan Paul get the win on that. But we move on. So I gave the segment 3 out of 5 stars, and that's that. And I gave the whole Hogan, the beginning of the Hogan thing, 4 out of 5. Just amazing. Alright, then we got a video with Andrade and Rey Fenix. I thought they were talking in Spanish because we see, like, subtitles. They're ready to win the tag team titles later on in the night against the Wyatt 6. Let's see what happens with that. Alright, then we get to the ladies. We get Miss Bliss, Alexa Bliss, with Horseface Charlotte Flair, the so-called cheerleader, and damn, she was looking, what was she wearing? Good lord. She basically looked like she had panties on and some, like, you know, a top and a bottom, which is like, looked like panties with, like, something holding it. Where did she go to get her stuff? Not the men's warehouse, obviously. But I digress. Maybe the women's warehouse. Or the local sex shop. I don't know. Alright, so, Miss Bliss with Charlotte takes on Roxanne Perez with a new theme, which wasn't that bad. People saying, oh, she got Def Rebel. Could have been worse. They could have gave her a really shitty theme. Kind of like what they gave Zelina Vega's theme. Ugh. But anyway. Raquel Rodriguez at ringside. It was a pretty good match. It's also with a feeling out process. Not like that, I wish, but not like that. And then Lexi knocks Roxy to the floor. Raquel comes up, but then Show's like, no, no, no. We go to break, come right back. Lexi runs Roxy over with a shoulder block, and then some stomping. And then the basement blockbuster connects, and then Show's like, yay! With the pom-poms. Blah, 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 just a little bit. You know, give me a W-H-A, give me an M-M-Y. If you follow Press Your Luck lore. Let me move on with that. So we got that, and then, she loads up the Sister Abigail DDT, but Raquel also another distraction, and got a quick springboard moonsault, gives Roxy a near fall, but Lexi comes back with a regular DDT, and goes up looking for Twisted Bliss, but then Raquel, once again, dives in to make the save. Referee's trying to get order, and Lexi's still on top. I'm like, hit the move! And Charlotte comes in. She kicks Raquel down in the face, but then Raquel comes back, kicks Charlotte in the face, and then Lexi pretty much turns her attention to Raquel. Big Twisted Bliss on the floor. She goes back in, and we see her nose got busted open. I don't know how that happened, but go back in. Roxy grabs a fruit roll-up and grabs the ropes for leverage, which the referee obviously did not see, and Roxy gets the win in under 7.5 minutes. So a little bit of chicanery, which I didn't really like. But hey, Roxy picks up a big win over a former Smackdown Raw Women's Champion and Alexa Bliss. Get a little... So we got that. And we move on. So, decent match, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then, after the match, Charlotte goes in to check on Lexi. Lexi's like, I'm fine, but she's like gushing fucking blood. So, it's probably a broken nose. And we'll see what happens with that. So, a little bit of momentum for the women's tag team champions as we go into the go-home show next week in Newark, New Jersey. See what happens with those 4 lovely ladies. And then the match, I think, is on night 1 for the women's tag team titles. And I think we might see new champs. Lexi and Charlotte will most likely win the belts, but I don't think they're going to hold them that long. It's like, I think Lexi's going to turn heel, and Charlotte's going to become face, which, like, want to see Charlotte as a face. Boring! So, we move on with that. Alright, after that, we go to the back with, there was Kathy Kelly, and her guest is the Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill. She's all ready to win the SmackDown Women's title from Tiffy Tiff at SummerSlam. And we see MFT, Solo, Hikuleo, Solo, Hikuleo, JC Mateo, and Tongaloa. I don't know what they were doing in the back. I think they were plotting some strategy or something in the back. Doing some heinous stuff, maybe. Who knows? So, she goes to leave, and then Chelsea Green! Wow, that went from there. Sorry. Chelsea Green! Sorry about the voice. I broke my... Chelsea Green! Chelsea Green and the Secret Harvest out of fire. And Piper Nevin, Dewdrop. They come in, And basically, Chelsea opens her big mouth, saying, "I should have been queen of the ring. I got robbed. I got screwed. This and that. I should be getting the title shot over crown-stealing Jade Cargill, who comes, and then the Secret Service go off to secure the perimeter." And then Chelsea's bad-mouthing Jade. Jade comes behind her and just stands there. And then Kathy's like, "Uh-oh, shit's about to go down." She starts leaving, and then finally Chelsea's like, "She's behind me, isn't she?" Yeah. So then she turns around. Jade knocks her almost completely out. Basically picks her up, goes through a gorilla, and we see like Daphne and another referee just standing there like, "Do something! Do something, you fucking idiots! You gonna stop this?" And we're like, "Oh, we're gonna bring her to the ring." And then one of the male referee, I don't know how he got to the ring that quick, but God bless that guy. Basically picks her up, carries her into the arena, and then knocks her to the outside. Before we even get the bell to ring, so we get an impromptu match. So I gave the segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then the match lasted 5 fucking minutes. So we come back from break. Chelsea poses. Jade gets run over with some elbows to face. A choke slam plants Chelsea. And then Alba Fire and then Dewdrop finally come back out. Alba Fire shows up for a distraction. Chelsea hits the zigzag. I wonder where she learned that from. Some guy named Nick. By the way, Ryan Nemeth, thank you for commenting on the my little post on your TNA video when there was an exclusive interview with the Nemeth brothers who challenged the Hardys for the tag team titles at Emergence, I believe. That's coming up. What is that fucking pay-per-view? I think it's next week or the week after that. I think it's August 8th. I gotta check that. But we got that. So the rematch with the Hardys and the Nemeth brothers is gonna happen. But I left a comment talking about Nick parked the hell out of Issa's car. Well, I tagged Issa's Instagram page on the comment, and he goes, that has nothing to do with the fucking video. It's like, that has nothing to do, you went way off topic. So I commented back, says, "You know it's true." Says, I said, "You know it's true." Said, "She loves you, we love you, blah, blah, blah." I said, "We love you," and I said, "Get those belts back." Then he commented right back. He says, "Will do." And then I followed him, and then he followed me back. I should have said, "Marcos!" He doesn't like the pizza and the wine. You should go to Marcos. I never ate it because I don't even think Marcos is around my area or even in Brooklyn. But if there is, I like to go. Try it out. But blah, 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 blah. I'm not a Marcos kind of guy, but I like my local pizza. I hate Domino's. Tastes like shit. Papa John's tastes like shit. Used to taste good. Now it tastes like shit. Pizza Hut was pretty good. Little Caesars, ugh. Little Caesars actually was good, but not around my area. When I used to live upstate, it was like 20 minutes away. I had 2 pizza places right near my apartment with my ex and my roommates. There's a pizza place right down about a few blocks away. We didn't order very much from there. Then like down. Gotta go downtown, basically downtown near the highway. There was a Little Caesars. We used to get pizza for like $5 every Friday. We used to get let's get some pizza. Why not? $5 pizzas, brought it home. I would usually go with my ex, and then we get it, come back, we eat, get some cheesy breads and soda. Cost us like 20 bucks. It was fine. It was great. RC Cola was up there. I loved it. Every time we go to like the big, huge supermarket. Not the supermarket. There was another one that everything was like mad fucking cheap. Not the dollar store, but I bought like RC Cola was like $1.99 back then. This is 2006, mind you. But man, I was like in there. We were just like looking around. Then I'm like going through the aisles. RC Cola. Ah! I gotta buy it. I bought like 4 of them. They were like on sale. I was like, shit. Brought it home. I was like, I had to tell my roommates, don't touch the RC Cola, you fuckers. That's mine. I miss that soda, man. I still can't find it. Not that many places in Brooklyn have it. I don't even think Amazon even sells it. I gotta check. Next time I buy my so I bought some stuff today. This morning it came. I have to go back on Amazon, and when I do another order, I gotta see if there's RC Cola there. If it was on sale, it'd be nice. I'd buy like 5 of them. That was the shit back in the day, even before I found out about Pepsi Cola. I used to drink Coke, Sprite, 7-Up, Slice back in the day. And then, I didn't really drink a lot of Pepsi back then. Because mainly it was Coke, Coke 2, New Coke. And then I started getting the Pepsi, regular Pepsi, Cherry Pepsi. Eventually, the horrible Pepsi Clear, which tasted like Sprite. And then it came out with Pepsi Blue later on. Pepsi Lemon was actually good. Pepsi Twist or whatever it was called. Then it just came out with ridiculous fucking flavors later on. Pepsi Fire, which was a cinnamon flavor. Pepsi Orange, I think they had at one point. Pepsi 1 is out now, which is the 0-calorie one, which is a rip-off of Coke. But I'm just like, I drink basically anything, but mainly I drink Pepsi, and, I do have Coke Zero. I bought some Coke Zero. So I'm trying to live off the main brands, basically. I'm trying to drink the zero sugar a little bit. I might be going on like a gluten-free diet or like a low-sugar diet. That's why I'm drinking like Gatorade, even though it has sugar in it. I'm drinking, this, which is Mio, which has sugar in it. Not a lot of sugar, but, I lost a lot of weight, actually. I'm 135 now. I used to be 145, close to 155 at one point. That was the highest I ever weighed, was 155. But that was months ago, and even many years ago. I'm like, shit. I remember when I first moved in with the missus, when we were living in Manhattan and everything. I was 115 pounds. I looked a little bit bigger, but I was like 115. But when I moved in with her, into the apartment in Manhattan, she fed me good, and she still feeds me good with the empanadas and all that shit. I ate like a pig. But I gained like 20 pounds in the span of we only lived there for like about a year or two. But I gained like 20 pounds in that span. That's the span of 2 years, basically. And then I was pretty much 135, 145. I got up to 155 at one point. Like nowadays, I weighed myself maybe about a week or so ago, and I was like 135. I was like, shit. I'm like, how the hell am I losing weight? I eat so much junk food. Like, I have the chicken patties, I have the pizza, hamburgers every once in a while. Sometimes I'll get the McDonald's, Burger King. Just junk. And then, I have the Mio, I have, Mio water. I still have the soda, which I still have like a little bit of a gut. Not too much of a gut now, but I don't know. My metabolism is, I'm 48, and my metabolism is so fucked up. I gain weight, I lose weight, and it just doesn't stabilize. Like, I'll gain 5, maybe 10 pounds, and then I'll lose it right away. I gotta take a mean old shit. You know, I have to... I'll lose it. Like, I take a big, mean old shit, then I lose 5 pounds. All that poop goes, like, you know... 5 pounds lost. I still look good? For you ladies. Of course. Of course. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Blah blah blah. Yeah. All right. So Chelsea hits a zigzag for a near fall. Tries to go for the unprettier, which is counted into jaded. And yeah. So Jade Cargill gets the win over Chelsea Green. Match was 2.25 out of 5 stars, and then after the match, you knew the beatdown was gonna come. 3-on-1 beatdown. And then, it's Tiffy time! Daddy! I'm sorry, Daddy! Wake up! What? Leave me alone! Okay, so Tiffany Stratton comes out for the save, takes down the Secret Hervis and everything. And then, they clear the ring. Jade picks up the title, gives it to Tiffy Tiff, and they have a little bit of a, like, no, I'm not giving you the belt. A little tug of war. Eventually, Tiffy takes the belt back, and then Jay's like, I'll see you in the parking lot. No, at SummerSlam, where Jay's obviously gonna win. I was hoping that Naomi would cash in on her. I guess not. So Jay's gonna probably win, hold the belt for who knows how long, and who beats her, I have no idea. She might hold that belt for at least a year, the way that the Smackdown roster is. Might be Julia. I could put Julia in there beating Jade. But other than that, I can't think of any other person. Maybe Charlotte. I don't want to see that, but Charlotte winning number 15 actually. It was 15 or 16. I think it probably has to be Charlotte to beat Jade, because they've been like teasing that program. So if Jade does get the belt, we're probably gonna see Jade versus Charlotte probably by the end of the year. Look at that. Alright, moving on. Alright, then we go to the women's locker room. Charlotte comes in, checks on a still bloody Alexa Bliss with that broken nose, has to be a broken nose, saying, what happened tonight can't happen at SummerSlam, and they kind of affirm their friendship or partnership. And she's like, alright, we get that. Alright, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. I need a drink. My voice is going. Gatorade is Thursday. Okay, never mind. Alright, after that, we get to another classic Hulk Hogan brother moment, which was when he beat the Iron Cheeky Baby at the Garden before WrestleMania 1 for his first WWF title reign. He is a 12-time champion, 2-time Hall of Famer, held the tag team titles with Edge. I don't know why he held the title. The tag titles of all titles he held. He won 12 fucking titles. He never held a secondary title until him and Edge won the title, the tag titles, and they didn't even hold them that long. He never held the Intercontinental title, the U.S. title, or any other title like that. It's just, yeah. It's like, why? But we get that. But yeah, I was there for that too. Moving on. Alright, then we get to You know, it was great. We had the Hogan moments. We had a couple of segments and matches. And then this guy fucking comes out. Cody Rhodes. No! He comes out. Starts off by actually did something good. Talks about wrestling losing a true giant yesterday in the Hulkster. There are some things about him that are complicated, you think. And what isn't complicated is the Hulkster's contributions to the WWE. Well, he is a WWE superstar. Well, Cody is a WWE superstar. The Hulkster was the first WWE superstar. That's a stretch and a half. So Cody says, thank you to the Hulkster for all the memories and all that shit. Then he's like, alright, now we pivot to SummerSlam, which is going to be about violence. Yes. We love violence here on the show. We don't condone it, but we love it. So he says, the tricky thing is, I don't want to wrestle this version of John Cena, this heel version of John Cena. I want to face someone who is counting the days until he's out the door. Well, actually, he doesn't want to face somebody who's going out the door. He wants to fight the real John Cena, the hustle, loyalty, respect version that bored us half to death for like 12 fucking years. And Cody says, if I'm going to be the best, I need to beat the best. And that means going through one of the greatest of all time. And basically he says, Cena, if this is your last SummerSlam, I want you to wrestle like it's your first SummerSlam. Then he wants Cena to say hello to Stu, the cameraman, run to the ring, slide onto the bottom rope, bring that hustle and loyalty, but as for the respect, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you with that. And then we got Cody, we got Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. I'm like, oh, shut up. And he says something, yay, woo, go away. And then he says, I need this to mean something. The only person who can make that happen is you, John. And I'll make that happen next week. So I'm probably going to have a little face-to-face next week. And Cena's probably going to get beat up again. But, meh. Didn't really give two fucks with this segment except for the Hogan stuff. And that's that. So I gave Cody's promo 2.5 out of 5 stars. And that's that. Alright, after that, we get to what happened last week between Jacob Batu, and Solo Mibuki. I hate you, Solo! The United States champ. And then, where Adam Pearce made the match for the United States title inside a steel cage, brother! Been a while since we had a cage match at SummerSlam. We got that. Alright, so we go to the back. Jacob cuts a promo. Talk about how he loves Solo. I love you, Solo! And now he's going to be locked in a cage with him. I think he kind of mentioned his running with the law. But anyway. That's enough for me to come get back my U.S. title. Then, of all people, Cleveland's own The Miz comes in. He's back from his time doing American Gladiators, which sucks. Yells at Jacob and says, you don't know who I am, but I'm not gonna get beat up in my hometown. I'm the main character, and I just talked to Nicholas Aldis, and we got a match coming up. I'm like, oh great, Miz is gonna get beat in his hometown. I mean, he's not gonna get beat, he's gonna get killed. Sucks. I was like, damn, I might have to call Maurice. Oh boy. Maurice is gonna be a widow with Monroe and Madison, the two kids. I'm like, damn, Maurice, you need, if Mike can't, Mike dies, you might have to freaking call me. Shit. But anyway, Jacob's like, not impressive, Miz, not impressive, Skywalker. So, Miz that slaps him, I'm like, oh, it wasn't even a good slap. Jimmy Uso slapping Walter was better than that slap. Come on, dude. And, Miz, you just, done fucked up. slaps Jacob. Jacob laughs, and then he's like, "Oh, you want to fight now?" And then Miz starts backing away. He's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna fight now." So I give that 2.5 out of 5 stars, and then we go right to the ring with the match. Whoops, I lost my notes for the match. Where are we? Here we go. Okay. Alright, so we go right into the match, but before we get to that, we get a video on what happened with the feud between Aleister Black and Poppy Priest, where we saw last week that Aleister got involved in Poppy Priest versus Mello, and basically Aleister beat the fuck out of Poppy, hit him with Black Mass. And then we hear from Aleister Black, talks about how Poppy fights to prove who he is, well, he fights to prove who Poppy is. Sounds contradictory, but okay. And Poppy's ready to prove himself, and they're going to fight next week. That's going to be a pretty damn good match. We'll see what happens with that. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, moving on. So I give that 2.5 out of 5 stars. So, we see what happens with that. And all that stuff. Alright, then we get to the match with Miz and Jacob. 7-minute match. Jacob was beating the living crap out of the Miz, but then we knew that was going to happen. Solo and the MFTs come out. That distraction lets Miz send Jacob into the ring post. Ow! We're going to break, come right back. Jacob comes back, crushes Miz in the corner, and then fires off some headbutts. Then Miz is dead in the corner. Then the running boom! Mega attack! And Miz gets pulled to the outside by Jacob and Solo and the MFTs. Jacob then hits a big flippy doo on basically everybody. And then Hikuleo charges at Jacob and gets sent into the ring post. Ow! Then a super kick to Solo. And then goes back to the ring, hits that pop-up Samoan drop, which, rarely he ever wins with that. But he got the win here in 7 minutes, so the hometown boy gets his butt kicked. That's that. Match was 2.5 out of 5 stars. After the match, another big old beatdown from the MFT on Jacob. And then Jimmy Uso comes out with a chair. And then he goes after Hikuleo, hits him with a chair, and then Hikuleo's like, fuck that. Fuck that, I'm Kevin Nash, I'm gonna kick your ass. So, Jacob gets back up, cleans house, hits the, loads up the running, Umaga attack with a chair wrapped around Solo. He tried that last week, tried to earlier tonight, he tried it again, and once again, Hikuleo makes the save, and Jacob gets beaten down again. I don't know where Jimmy got beat up. I don't know where Jimmy went. I think he got beat up. He did get beat up by Hikuleo when he was out. So, and then Solo screams at Jacob about this being what happens when you betray him. Shit. That cage match is going to be brutal. And I think Solo's still going to retain because, somehow, someway, like, the MFTs are going to get involved. Jacob's going to be this close to winning, and then maybe he gets the cage door slammed on his head or some shit. It would be nice for him to regain the belt, but, I don't think he's going to regain it. But I think Solo's going to retain thanks to Hikuleo, Jason Mateo, and Tongaloa. There may be a chance that Tama Tonga comes back. Yeah. Because we haven't seen him in months since he got his arm all fucked up. And all that stuff. Alright, so we see what happens with that. Alright, we go to the back, once again with Kathy Kelly and her guests, the Street Profits, Angela Dawkins and Montez Ford, the hometown boys. And B-Fab with her Afro Puffs. She roughs rough and stuff with her Afro Puffs. Rage! Just walk on with your bad self. Alright. So let's talk about one of the tag team titles back from the Wyatt 6. DIY comes in with Johnny Gargano, his hot wife Candice LeRae, and the Psycho Killer! It's Tommaso Ciampa yelling and screaming like a fucking maniac. Basically, they say, we got a plan of our own to get the belts back, and we want you to stay out of our way. So, yeah, Angelo Dawkins has a Cleveland Guardian shirt on, and Freaking Gargano's like, take that shirt off! Okay, we got that. Alright, so 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. So we'll see what happens with them and the tag team title is coming up in a little bit. Moving along. Alright, then we get another classic Hulk Hogan moment. The second greatest match in WrestleMania history. On my list, WrestleMania 3 against Andre the Giant, where he overcame the odds and body slammed the big man, the big 500-pound legend, Andre the Giant, pinned him. We retained the title. That was a great match. And pretty much Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat pretty much set the stage, and Hogan and Andre try to be better than that match. I'm like, no. They tried, but it was still a good match. One of the greatest matches in, like I said, one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history, but not the greatest. It's a very close number 2. We got that. Alright, then we see Zelina Vega. Ooh, yes. She comes up to the Women's United States Champion, Julia. She's, gets right in her face and talks some shit, and then runs into the returning Kiana James, we haven't seen in a year because of her knee injury. Tore her ACL to bits. When she's finally back, she was on main event, but they finally actually bring her back onto the roster on the TV. So Kiana James is now Julia's official representative, like manager / rep. So then Zelina's like, hey, why do you have Clipboard Karen? Oh, that's a bad term. So Kiana has already got the title rematch set up. So that's going to happen next week on the program. Next week's card looks pretty damn good. We got Aleister Black and Poppy. We got Zelina Vega and Julia, a rematch for the Women's United States title. Cody and Cena face off. Gonna be a great night in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center, The Rock. I'd go to that show because, hop, skip, and jump if I had to. Because all I have to do is take the bus to the train, take that up to Penn Station, get on the New Jersey Transit train, take that to Newark Penn Station, and then I'm basically almost like a walk right down the block. It's right there. A few blocks, right, it's there. The Prudential Center. Then on the way back, take the same way home. Easy. It doesn't even take that long. It's I think the first stop. I think it's the first stop on the New Jersey Transit train from Penn Station. So it's bing, bang, boom, you're back. One stop, back at Penn Station. Then I have to walk back to the train. Take that. It's gonna be a pain in the ass because a lot of people are gonna be on the New Jersey Transit train getting back to the city. Then get off at Penn Station, walk out of Penn Station, get the train, and I have to take the train, hopefully get a bus, or I have to take an Uber back home, which doesn't, cost much. But yeah, I would go, but I don't feel like it. I got other things to do next weekend, so let me move on with that. So title match next week, Julia and Zelina Vega, but added ingredient, Kiana James probably be at ringside. I don't think she's getting involved, and Julia will retain most likely. And that's that. Alright, move on. Then we get the SummerSlam rundown with both nights, and the match is already assigned. I'll probably talk about that probably on Monday for Raw. After I do my review for Raw, I'll pretty much finalize the card. The card should be finalized. I don't think there's going to be anything that gets added on next Friday night SmackDown, unless something does get announced. But if it does get announced, I'll mention it on my SmackDown review. And then when I do my SummerSlam predictions, which will probably be next Saturday early afternoon, I'll try to get it up by then. I think my blog is having a block party next weekend. It's usually around SummerSlam. So I'm gonna try to get it. You might hear a lot of noise, because if I do have my block has the block party next week, there's be a lot of noise, a lot of my neighbors gonna be blasting like Icy Brothers tunes and shit. So it's gonna be a good time and shit. So I'm gonna try to get that up, and then enjoy the block party for a little bit, have some like good food and everything, and then pretty much like 6 o'clock, 6:30, I'm gonna like come back in, and then if I have any other videos I actually have to do, I'll do those before SummerSlam. Then 7 o'clock, I'm watching SummerSlam. So I think yeah, I'll be watching SummerSlam. I think East is going to SummerSlam, so and everything. So. And then that's that. And then Sunday, we really got nothing to do. We'll probably do the review for night 1. I don't know when Collision is. I think Collision is this Thursday. Because it would suck to be on Saturday, because I would get walloped in the ratings. So I think Collision's happening this Thursday. I think it's gonna be taped or it's gonna be live to counteract. If Tony Khan better not put it on Saturday on SummerSlam weekend. I know he won't, but we'll have to see what happens with that. Probably find out tomorrow on a live edition of Collision. We'll probably find out next week's show. Probably, like I said, might be on Thursday, might be live Thursday or taped. And then nothing on next Saturday because of SummerSlam weekend. And probably back to its normal time slot, August the 9th. Which I'll probably not watch because will be at home, so... Next 2 collisions, on August 9th and 16th, I probably will not be watching. Because I got events coming up. One of them being in this moment, so... in Jersey. So, can't wait for that. Because I'll go to the concert and I probably won't be back. I'll probably be back the next day, so I'm like... But the concert's at night, so I have to be there early. So if I have to do any videos, I'm gonna do it really, like probably early to mid morning before noon, and then I'm out for pretty much the entire day. So you will not hear from me. You will not see me do a video anytime in the afternoon, in the evenings. I'm just gonna probably take the rest of that day off because I'm gonna be rocking out with my cock out to end this moment. Finish you off there. Hell hath no fury part of the tour. Then they go into the next leg of the tour. I think that starts in September. So I'm gonna take a couple weeks off, recharge, and then start the next tour, which I don't know the name. I think it's the Daydream Tour. I forgot the name of it, but that's gonna start up in September and October, I believe. It's gonna finish up October something. In this moment, coming to a town near you, so go see him. Moving on. Yeah, so that's pretty much my schedule for next week. Raw review, NXT review, Dynamite, TNA, Ring of Honor, possible Collision review, and Smackdown with SummerSlam Night 1 and 2 predictions coming on episode 79 of the Shadow Slayer. And that's going to be next Saturday early afternoon. So check that out. Review for SummerSlam Night 1 might come that night, SummerSlam Night 1 night, or coming the day after, depending on how you feel and what happens with that. Which should be a great 2-night event next week in Jersey. And I think Raw on August the 4th is in Brooklyn or is in the Garden. I think it's in I had to check that. I think it's in Brooklyn or the Garden, but that should be fun. Alright, moving along. Alright, then we get to the main event of SmackDown for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. We have the Wyatt Six, represented by Joe Gacy and Sexy Dexter Lumis. They take on Andrade and Rey Fenix. Fireflies were out in Cleveland. It was great. Match didn't last that long, 7 minutes. Y6 defending, they get jumped by the challengers to start. So match starts fast and furious. Andrade hits the Eddie Galeno ese to the Amigos. What do you think about that, Eddie? Leave me alone, I'm sleeping. Okay, sorry. Hits down on Joe Gacy. Dexter comes back. He takes Rey Fenix out. Go to a quick break. Come right back. Andrade hits the running shotgun knees in the corner. And then Dexter is dropped onto Rey's knees. Basically that backstabber message combo. They were about to win the belts, but then Nikki Cross pulls the ref out. So the referee's like, nope, DQ. So she saves the title, so Andrade and Rey Fenix win by DQ. Match was like, 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then the chaos begins, and an epic ending to the show. The big man, Eric Rowan, comes in, beats down basically everybody that comes out. The Motor City Machine Guns come out, they get beat down. Andrade and Rey Fenix, they get beat down. DIY come out, get beat down. And then the Street Profits finally come out, take out the Wyatts, and the Profits are still in the Guardian jerseys. So it is just chaos all over the ring, outside the ring. Referees, agents come out, and then Nick Aldis comes out with like 6 million security guards. I'm like, where did these guys come from? They're like 10 security guards. I'm like, good, I must have paid them very well. Shit. I'm like, that's the most security guards I've seen in a very long time. About fucking time we got some more security guards. Want to get them off the street? Shit. Hey, mate, you want to make $500? Yeah, come on, be a security guard, you get beat up. Okay. You have any wrestling experience? No! Oh, you're gonna get beat up anyway. You're just gonna be like, catch the guy and you fall down. You're not gonna be in the ring taking a big fucking bump. I take the bump, I take $500 and take a bump at the same time. I don't give a shit. One would get hit me by accident and I'd take the $500. I'll still acknowledge the guy. Moving on. Alright, so Nick Aldis comes out with everybody, and they're still brawling, and then Nick Aldis gets a ring, gets on the freaking turnbuckle, it's like, that's it! Stop this madness! It's like, you guys want to fight? We tried it the first time. This time, we're going to do it at SummerSlam. We're going to put the title, and I said in Issa's chat, guaranteed we're getting a ladder match. So, on cue, basically, Nick Aldis says the title's going to be high up in the air. I'm like, yes! Called it. So he does that, but not going to be a ladder match. It's going to be a TLC match with all these tag teams. Match is going to steal night 1 and night 2. So after he makes the announcement, the brawl continues, and then Tommaso Ciampa, of all guys, hits a big flippy dippity-doo on everybody. The crowd's going completely berserk. I mean, that first match was crazy. That ladder match, and then now we're doing a TLC match to make it even more crazy. Who wins that? I don't know, man. I would dare say that the Promise might get the belts back. But then again, you never know. But it's gotta be fucking crazy as shit. And everybody's gonna go buck wild on that bitch. Like Jay Briscoe would say. And, we get that. But epic ending to a pretty damn good show. And then, that's pretty much it. So, for the Hogan tribute and for SmackDown, I gave SmackDown 7.25 out of 10 stars. Great show, great tribute to Hulk. It's an amazing show. And we'll see what happens next week on the Go Home shows for Raw and SmackDown as we head into SummerSlam weekend next week. And then after that, we're on the road to Paris for a Clash in Paris at the end of August. And then we're going to Labor Day weekend, basically. Alright, moving on. Alright, so that's it. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'm going to take a long nap. It's late. And, I hear the missus getting up, so I gotta get out of here. So thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, peace out, rock on and rock hard with your cock out. And until next time, if you're not down with us, if you're not down with me and the prophecy, the greatest things since sliced bread, we all got 3 words for you, brother. Fuck you, man. That's it. Until next time, my friends, have a great night, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for Dynamite and TNA Ring of Honor. So, see you guys tomorrow, but until next time, peace, brother.